Alright, today on the bench we've got the Hpi Nitro Trophy 3.5 buggy. It's a 1/8 scale buggy. I wouldn't say that this is a racing buggy, it's more of your basher, use at home buggy. This one I haven't run yet, I haven't had a chance. I have so many vehicles that I don't always use all of them straight away, but I like having them there for when I do want to use them one day. And it's also just part of my collection. I seem to collect a lot of nitro vehicles because you don't get a lot of nitro vehicles around. They're not as popular, and I don't think nitro is going to be around forever. I'd say it's something that's going to get phased out, so I like to keep these in the collection to show people and have around for when nitro doesn't exist anymore. I can show people, hey, this is something that used to exist in the hobby that you don't see anymore, and yeah, I just like them. So this is the Hpi Trophy 3.5. It is a nitro buggy. Quite cool. I don't know a whole lot about it because I haven't ran it, so I can't tell you what weak points or anything are on it. It does obviously come with wheels and tyres. I just don't leave them on it when I'm storing my vehicles. I like to take them off. But these are the wheels and tyres it comes with. It's like a black chromey type look on the tyres. They feel quite grippy, quite soft compound, but yeah, I'm sure they grip quite well, but I just haven't used them. Quite big shocks on this, quite common on a 1/8 buggy to have quite tall shocks. They are oil filled, they're adjustable, but with the preload clips that you just pull on and off, plastic clips. It does have more of them in the box that you can change out. They do have like a rubber sleeve over the shock shaft just to protect it, which is cool. 17mm hexes on this, metal drive shafts front and back. Rather cool. Quite thick arms on these, quite strong feeling. Does have your 3.5 big block motor on it, quite powerful. I have used these motors before, not in this buggy, but in other vehicles. Quite a fair bit of power in them. They are quite a good motor actually, I quite like them. It does have your metal shock towers front and back. You can see them sticking up through the body. I'll show you that a bit more in a minute. Cut out here for the fuel tank. You can actually refuel it without taking the body off. Exhaust sticking through the side here, same with the pull starter. You can refuel, start this vehicle without taking the body off, which is handy because it's not the easiest body to take on and off. These buggy bodies are never the easiest thing, especially trying to get the pull start through these little holes. Does have sway bars in it. In here in the back you can see the sway bar. Big plastic rear wing. It is plastic, it is not Lexan. Shocks on the back, they're bigger than the front ones. Oil filled as well, they've got the same cover on the shafts. They are also adjustable with the plastic sleeves. You've got to pop them on and off. Metal drive shafts, like I said, front and rear center, all metal. The links and everything quite thick, quite strong, quite thick A-arms as well. Underneath, metal chassis. Couldn't tell you how strong it is because I haven't used this one, but it seems fairly thick. I'd say it'd be pretty strong for what buggies are always quite durable. These 1/8 scale buggies, you can put them through hell and they're pretty indestructible. They're not the heaviest vehicles, not like a monster truck where you've got big heavy tyres and a lot more weight in the vehicle. These buggies are a lot lighter, tyres are a lot lighter. They seem to take a fair bit of abuse before you break things. I'll try and get this body off. It's not the easiest thing to take off, especially with one hand, but I just kind of pop that. As you can see, these bodies, they are pretty hard to take off, especially with one hand. So just bear with me for a sec. It seems to get caught on absolutely every part of this when you're trying to pop them on and off. Pop this out as well. Obviously, when you're doing this with two hands, it's nowhere near as hard as doing it with one hand. Bloody. Right. Wasn't that a mission? So this is just your Lexan body. It's quite thin, nothing special. This body would probably not last too long. It's quite flexible. If I was running it as a basher, I'd be shoe glue and drywall taping this body, but that's what I do with all my bodies, so that's just a personal preference for me. Alright, on the inside you can see, in typical HPI fashion, they've got a lot of orange aluminium parts. HPI, that's kind of their colour scheme that they like to do. You do see some purple stuff on HPI as well, but a lot of orange, especially in this range of vehicle that they make. It's a bit of a look on the inside. This is the air filters that HPI like to run. They're more of I'd say they're a splash proof one. That's the whole design. They kind of cover up the air filter. It's on the inside of this plastic and it breathes through this hole. They don't perform the best. If you just pop this off and put a different type of air filter on it, more of an exposed one, it will perform a lot better, breathe a lot better, but won't be as splash proof. But I've never had a problem with water and nitros unless you're running into a pool, just splashing through puddles, no worries at all. As long as you keep cleaning your filters, you won't have any dramas. As you can see, it does have a disc brake down inside in here, single disc brake. It is a single speed transmission. There's another disc brake here on the front, so it's got the duals. Does have a chassis brace down in here, another chassis brace here as well. This is the upper plate that they mount things on. It is also aluminium, same with up in here. The bracing for the shocks and the steering is all aluminium. Quite a strong built truck, this. Buggy, sorry. Down in here you do have your receiver and your battery box. You can run NIM packs. This one actually came with a NIM pack that you can put in it. They do state that this vehicle is waterproof, so the electronics obviously are protected in this box. The servos are also waterproof. Nitro motors are fairly waterproof. You just don't want to get water going up in your exhaust. But as long as it's running and it's got pressure, you won't get water going up inside your motor too much. And then same with in your air filter. If your air filter pops off and you get water down in your carby, it will obviously flood it and conk it out. But if you ever get water inside your nitro vehicle, it's not the biggest drama. You just pop your glow plug out, spray a bit of WD-40, same with down inside your carby, give it a good rinse out, cycle the pull start a few times and then put some more fuel in it, start it up and run it, get it nice and hot. No, you won't have any problems. Nitros are not as scary as what people make out. Quite a big tank on these. Fit a fair bit of nitro fuel down in it, just a pop cap. Doesn't have a primer on this, so you have to prime it by holding the exhaust. This little cover here is just like what I was showing on the Kiosko buggy. It's the same kind of deal. It stops the body from crushing down. You can see up in here, this is the curve of the body. Well, that's what this plastic curves to. It's kind of the body sits down on top of it just to stop it from crushing down. It does have your metal tuned pipe. You can see the size of this nitro motor. It's quite a big boy, 3.5. It's a fairly big motor. These are great motors. I've always liked the HPI ones. I believe they might actually be made by Force. I think they might be, but don't quote me. It is a rear exit exhaust on this pull starter. These motors do have quite high compression, so when you first get them, when you're trying to run them in, I often, to start it the first time, I obviously always heat my blocks. And then I just crack the glow plug a little bit to let a bit of compression out, and just try and start it that way first. And once it's started, I just tighten the glow plug again. I've always had great success doing it that way, and I've always preheated my motors before running them with all my nitro vehicles, and I find that they start a lot easier, they run nicer, they're just all round better to do that. But yeah, this is not a nitro starting video, it's more of a quick look video, but that's what I've always done. But yeah, this is just a quick look at my Hpi Trophy 3.5 Nitro 1/8 buggy. Kind of cool. Just another one of the ones in my collection. I really like nitro vehicles. Let me know if there's anything else you want to know about it in the comments down below. And yeah, stay tuned for the next video.